Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, this is going to be the first of many where I cover a specific Uma and how I dominate a specific scenario in the career path and how you can kind of build them in a similar way. And so for this one, we're going to be covering Taiki Shuttle, and it's going to be in the career, the very first one we had at launch, which is the URA Final. And so she was the first random 3-star that I got. So I know a lot of people may not have her at this point. I actually think she's probably the second best to use your selector on over URA Cap. So if you like her, she's a potential one to select because she is really fun to play. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her overall as an Uma. So we'll go in here and we'll just go here. Now I have her currently at potential level 3, but the run we're going to look at, she was only level 2. So just take note of that because she has a skill that she won't have that she can get at potential level 3 because she's potential level 2 in the run. And so she is both good at turf and dirt. So it's similar to URA Cap in that same capacity, which is the main reason a lot of people say to pull for URA Cap. Now she is a shorter distance runner. So she's all about the sprints and miles. And then she is a pace runner, and that is the way I've built her. I just went all in on pace with her in my build. And so that is what Taiki Shuttle brings to it. And so you can kind of see here, that is everything she brings. So let's go ahead and look at my, gotta go back here, my actual build that I used to dominate the career. So when you go to this one on the veteran list, you can actually see all of your runs here. And so pretty much all of the ones that have won for me are my Bs here. And then like the Ds are the ones that got crushed, and then C pluses are the ones that like got into the finals but didn't win it. So that's just a general way to kind of, at least currently, that's going to shift down the line when we start getting into specific builds when you're trying to build parents versus race winners and all kinds of different things because there's a lot of mechanics that comes into it. And yeah, you can see this one right here. This was, you can have some really bad luck because this was a case of failing like 2 5% in a row. And so you can see there is RNG into this game. But the one we're going to look at is the one that was right before it that we came off a high into that bad one, which was Taiki Shuttle here. And so this is one where I absolutely dominated it with her build here. As you can see, she has a top speed. She is maxed out on speed at 1200, has a C plus and stamina at 500. B plus on power, and then guts and wit are a little bit lower, but still in that 300 range, bringing them up to a D. As you can see, even with that top speed, she is only a B plus. So when you're seeing the fact that, hey, why am I getting such low? That's just this fact that we're in the earliest scenario. We don't have all the meta support cards yet, like the Kidishan Black one that will be coming out in about a month that everybody should be maxing out, and a lot of other little things here and there. Because when you even look at like the whales, for example, like their bests that I've seen are A. I don't think I've seen anything above A yet at this point. So B plus is really good, especially if you're free to play. And so that is her overall stats here that beat it. And here are the skills that she got. And so the big ones are this beeline burst was like crazy good for me. She would use that at the very end of the race and just shoot way ahead. Because she not only won her races, she would win them like convincingly, not even close. And so those are skills here. And so let's actually look at the career info. These are the cards I selected. And so you may not have the same ones I have. That's going to be the one thing that's going to differentiate you. So you kind of want to just kind of piecemeal what you have into a similar situation I have here. Now you can get very close to what I have here. If you are a reroller, you should have at least one copy of this one here, Fine Motion or Super Creek. Possibly both of them if you got really lucky. My rerolls got me a dupe of Fine Motion, so I used Fine Motion, and then I had one of the whales that had a max dupe Super Creek that I borrowed here. And so you can just look for one in the list that hopefully hasn't been max followed yet. Try and get them. If you can't find one that has a max dupe Super Creek, you can take one with only a couple dupes. There's tons of them with multiple dupes. There's been a few that I've seen that have max dupes. And then the other, so those two are very easy to get. Everybody should be able to get both of those if you re-rolled to get at least one of them. Then you have this card I have right here. This is the event one that we're building up. Everybody should have this one, unless you've been really unlucky on the bingo. But if you've been active in playing, you should have at least hit pity at this point on the first bingo card and should be able to get a copy of this one. So it's a really good, nice one to have. You will eventually be able to max dupe this, which is going to be really nice. I have that one. This is another really big one, the Tazuna card. Now, this one is going to be a little bit tricky. Not everybody's going to have this one. No one's really targeting on the reroll because it's really, really good in this scenario specifically, as when you're taking your rest and relaxation. It's like a special event that pretty much always gives you a ton of energy back, as well as guaranteeing that you're going to raise her mood up, which is always good for getting more stats. And then you can see over here, these are another like 2 random ones here. I was going heavy speed, as you can see. So the biggest thing that I wanted was to get as many speed cards as I could. So I had 3 of them in here. Then I have the wit one, just with fine motion. My stamina with that one. And then she is just overall a really good one. If you don't have that, I'd probably just put another speed one in here, ultimately. If I didn't have hers, potentially have 4 speeds, because getting those speed boosts was like paramount in what got me this really high speed alongside power. Once you max out their friendship, it just kept... I mean, I had some scenarios, I think they gave me 50 points of speed and like 20 of power. It was that good on this run. Then you can see here, one of my whales I borrow had this character who's an A rank, nutrition. I'm pretty sure they're already max followed right now. I think they're the very tip top of the leaderboard right now as well, unless it's changed. So have her special week. She's got a max stamina on here. And then I used my Grass Wonder, who was one that was a champion winner for me. She has power 1 star here. And so that is my Taiki Shuttle. Now, as you can see down here, you can actually see her career record. She had 11 races, well, and 10 of them she won. I believe the one she did not win, if I remember, was a 2nd place. And it was just like a fluke loss. Like, she got stuck in the pack and couldn't push her up. She couldn't push through. And because it wasn't required to be a 1st place, I couldn't retry it. So that's the only one she did not win. But the one she did win, she dominated. If you actually go back and watch my stream from 6/27/2025, it's, I believe, the 2nd race in that stream, if you want to go to it and actually, or 2nd career in there. You can actually watch the entire career where I built her. And I may actually make a video where just a video that is that entire career. Just cut that out and make it a separate video. If anyone likes that idea, just go ahead and put in that in comments if you think that's a good idea, that I just kind of start putting some of my best careers as separate videos in like a playlist or something. And then I can kind of showcase that. But that is my Taiki Shuttle build. Just absolutely dominating. Went all in on the pace style. And a lot of her races are sprints, if I remember correctly. And so I went all in on the skills for sprints as well. And so you can kind of see her, this is her default one she comes with. Shooting for victory, increased acceleration with a well-positioned wow, and a bang when positioned on the final corner. So pushing off right off the bat at the very end. You have swinging maestro. This one comes from the Super Creek. So this is an absolute you want to pick up as well. Recover endurance on a corner with efficient training. Beeline burst. This one came from... You may not get this one because I'm pretty sure this came from this card here. I don't know if it's going to let me... It doesn't let you actually look at it here. But I believe this one's the one that had beeline burst for me. And that was really nice as well. Right at the end, when she would push this one off at the end of the race, she would just fly. Like, this is the one, if it went off, she had a wide gap at the very end. Not only did she win, it was convincingly a win. The very last race, the final, she was super far ahead because of that one. Firm conditions. This was just a nice overall increased performance on firm ground. A lot of us have that. Sprint straightaways. So slightly increased velocity on straights, sprints. She's a pace chaser. So anything that has pace chasing as like the advantage here. Ability to get into a good position as a pace chaser. Really nice there. Hydrate, giving her some more endurance in the middle of the race. And then homestyle and stretch. So a lot of stuff to push her at the very end. But that is my Taiki Shuttle. That is how I built her. Overall, probably my favorite one at this point. And so I'm actually going to be using her again today, now that I have her at potential level 3, and see if I can actually do just as good, but push her up to an A. That is my goal today, is get an A level. We'll kind of have to see if I can pull that off. But that is Taiki Shuttle, and that is how you can win the URA championship with her. Now, you may not have all the cards, but you should at least have 3 of the cards I showed. The other ones, just try and get the mix of runnings if you have one. And it doesn't matter if you use an SR. The SR cards are good too. You don't have to have the SSR ones. But that's pretty much it. And if you like my content, if you could... Oh, my cat decided to jump up here last second. But if you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.